let's get started, okay? So just to recap, my name is Sita. John and I are the co-founders of Bendable Body. We're going to be tag teaming this webinar today. So I'll start, he'll pop in to do some of the stretching teaching, and then I'll conclude. Then he'll be back for Q&A. If you can save your questions and answers for the end, that would be really helpful for us. So welcome. Life-changing stretching focused on the fascia. The goal today is to make sure that you understand what fascia is and you understand how to effectively stretch it. That is our goal for today. So let's get going. You are in the right place if, let me just move this out of my way. You're trying to solve pain and injury and stay flexible and strong, or you're an athlete who wants to have personal bests. You are also in the right place if you're feeling hopeless that no one has answers or help. You've been around the bend, you've tried a bunch of things and it didn't work. You are also in the right place if you're afraid you won't be able to keep doing the things that you love to do because of stuff that's going on in your body. Lastly, you're in the right place if you're ready to commit to an exercise method that gets to the root cause of pain, injuries, flexibility, and strength. And really the main point there is you do have to do something. You have to show up and stretch if you want to get a result. John just started piano lessons yesterday, and the teacher was like, you have to practice every day if you want to get better. So that's pretty much true with everything, right? You got to do stuff to get a result. You are in the wrong place. This is pretty important because what we offer is really different. You don't like learning new approaches. This is not traditional stretching. It's not strength training. It's not yoga. It's not Pilates. It's something different. So we really ask that you start with a blank slate to learn something different, a new method that targets a tissue that's really important to be targeted. You aren't willing to dedicate 10 to 20 minutes a day or a few times a week to your health, and or you lack basic mobility. So this is an online program. So if you are lacking in basic mobility, it might not be the best approach for you. You're someone who likes to check out when you work out and just tick the box. So that's a really interesting point about fascia. And we're going to get to that when we go into fascia. It really requires a presence of mind. So this isn't the watch television, watch the news, play your music while you're stretching. This is a pay attention while you're stretching method. Oop, I think I forgot one. Sorry, it moves really fast. You don't like free content followed by an insanely offer. So we're teaching today. We're going to show you how to resist and stretch. We're going to teach you about fascia, and then we're going to tell you about our membership program. So that is the plan ahead of time, just so you know. We're also going to answer all of your questions. Our promise to you, we're going to deliver as much value as we possibly can in this 60-minute class. Nothing we teach today is based on theory. We have a huge amount of experience behind us. In return, we ask that you keep an open mind to the new information you're going to learn. Really view it as something brand new, because that is probably what it is to most of you. That you participate in the class and stretch with us so that you can implement what you've learned. This is a physical modality, so go ahead, plan on getting up and stretching. You don't need a lot of props. You don't need a lot of space. As long as you can stand, and we will teach some stretches on the ground, you're going to be able to do these stretches. What you can expect to learn. So I've kind of gone over this, but let's be super clear here. We are going to talk about the real cause of stiffness. When it comes to the tissue in your body, your lack of flexibility and strength is because you haven't paid attention to your fascia. And we are going to explain why and what fascia is today. A new way to stretch, and the biggest mistake people make that decreases flexibility when they typically stretch. So we're going to teach you how to stretch your muscle fascia and how to stop stretching incorrectly so that you become less flexible and less strong. So you're going to break free of your aging, tired self that has limited everything that you can do. So a couple bonuses. Whenever we do these special trainings, we do them throughout the year a few times, usually about 3, maybe 4. We always have extra bonuses, and we change what those are based on interests that people have. So we've got some pretty exciting ones this time that we've never offered that we're really thrilled about. First is a shoulder series. It's an ebook and a 30-minute video, and it teaches you a series of exercises that are going to relieve acute shoulder pain, chronic shoulder pain, a specific shoulder injury that you may have going on, and you're going to get an immediate result and immediate relief, but over time, you're going to remove the problem. So that's a pretty exciting bonus. I want you to take note of that. Another bonus that we have is a hip focused video. And so there's one muscle group in particular that really has an impact on the hip joint. It's the medial hamstring on the back of the thigh, also associated with the pancreas meridian, the pancreas organ in traditional Chinese medicine, which we'll talk more about in this training. And so this video targets that muscle group, giving you multiple ways to go after it. So that's a second bonus that we have happening in June that we're really excited about. So what I'd love you to do and stick it in the chat. John's kind of paying attention in the background because the babies are sleeping, so we have a little bit of extra bandwidth. Which bonus is more attractive to you? Which one do you feel like you would rather have? The shoulder series bonus, the video and the ebook, or the hip focused video? Go ahead and put shoulder or hip in the chat. We want to see what's going on with people there. We also have what I was just saying is let's just take a moment to reflect. You don't have to write it down. You can write it down. 2 activities that you love to do. And when we say activities at Bendable Body, we don't just mean, like running, jogging, skiing, tennis. It could be knitting. It could be gardening. It could be cooking. Just anything that you love to do. So just activities in a general sense. Now think of 2 physical injuries, 2 pain points or problem areas in your body that you have going on. Just make a mental note. Maybe it's knees, maybe it's low back, maybe it's shoulders, maybe it's plantar fasciitis, maybe it's something like blood pressure. Could be physiological as well. And then, like, where do you see your activity level in 5 years? Like, have you projected into the future? Where's this train headed, right? Do you see yourself still doing all the stuff that you love to do, especially the 2 activities you just thought of? Maybe you do. Maybe have you thought about, like, is my body going to cooperate? So that's what we want you to just take a moment to think about here. And so I want to get your opinion on something. Who lives a full life into old age, seemingly getting younger and younger than their peers, right? Just think about that question. John and I have worked with thousands of clients over the past, 20 years for John, probably more like 13 for me. And we've seen that people fall into 2 primary categories. First one, we've named her In Pain Peggy. And I know I've been a Peggy. John's definitely been a Peggy. Calls himself a Johnny. Maybe we have some Peggys out there. So who is Peggy? Category 1. She thinks she needs to strengthen and stretch in the places she has pain. I'm just going to pause for a moment and let that sink in because it's a universal concept that's really flawed. Oh, I have knee pain. I need to strengthen the muscles surrounding my knee. Oh, I have shoulder pain. I need to strengthen the muscles surrounding my shoulder. This is false. First thing she thinks. She's afraid. She's like in constant fear of trying new exercises because she doesn't want to make it work. So she's like perpetually on the bench. Anybody been there? Or maybe you're there right now. She spends a lot of money on massages, physical therapy, foam rollers, balls, a billion things I haven't even mentioned. And in the end, probably is taking painkillers or scheduled for surgery. So if we've got any Peggies out there, you can go ahead and put Peggy in the chat. Like I said, we're paying attention. I know I've been a Peggy and I know John's been a Johnny. Conscious Connie. This actually is a woman named Connie, and she actually is one of our clients. That's kind of cool. This is category number 2. Who is Connie? She's a seeker that knows only she can be responsible for her health. So, especially with this method, it's unknown. You have to take charge and be the one in the driver's seat and do it. You have to do it. And if you're here, you're already a seeker. You wouldn't even be interested otherwise. She has an open mind and loves to try new things because she's clear what doesn't work. So she's done a lot of the stuff. She's done the foam rollers. She's done the massages. She's done the PT. She's done all of it. And maybe it got a little better, whatever was going on, but it didn't go away and she's still dealing with it. And so she's like, there's got to be something out there that actually works. She's committed to working hard for her health every day. I mean, I just cannot say this enough. You got to show up and actually do something. She has no pain. She's dealt with it. She does what she wants when she wants and knows how to fix a pain point should it arise. Because of course, we're living our lives. She's living her life. Stuff is going to show up. The thing is, you want to be able to fix it when it shows up and not have it take over. So there's Connie. Any Connies out there? We would love it if we've got some Connies. So you've got Peggy and you've got Connie. Who are you? Go ahead and put it in the chat. So, stretching is how both John and I overcame pain and stiffness and got health back into our lives and improved our health greatly. However, all stretching methods are not created equally, and you're going to learn today how the bendable body method is a very different form of stretching. It's how we target fascia that matters most. So, right now, we're going to take a moment to really educate you on what fascia is. You're going to get my perspective, and then John's going to pop in and you're going to get his perspective. And then we're going to start stretching our fascia. So, while you're listening, you might want to be thinking about, do you have a little bit of space to stretch? Do you have just a bit like a bit of open space, maybe some wall space? Because we are going to be stretching in the next 5 or so minutes. So, let's get ready for that. So, fascia, what is it? The actual term often used for fascia, it's like a synonym, is connective tissue. That's literally what it is. It connects all the tissues in the body, the ligaments, the tendons, the bones, the organs. They're all touched and penetrated by the fascia. It's the only tissue in the body that touches every other tissue. So it's very pervasive. An analogy, so you can start to visualize it, is a bowl of vegetable soup. It's the one I always give. You can think of the fascia as the broth that everything is floating in. The vegetables are the bones, the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, the organs, and the broth is the fascia surrounding and penetrating all of those different elements in the body. It shapes you. So your shape is formed by the fascia. In the bowl of soup analogy, of course, the bowl is the shape, but in the body, the fascia is really what's shaping you. Um, and so, as it relates to muscles, because that's what we're doing at Bendable Body, we're stretching muscle fascia. Each muscle is literally poured into a fascia pocket. So, we think of muscles as these like independent hunks of meat, like a chicken breast or something like that. And they are, but they also aren't. They're completely dependent on that fascia encasement. But more so, you can visualize a muscle as a bit like an orange segment. You know how when you open up a single orange segment, there's all those individual orange fibers? Muscles are like that. There are many, many fibers inside of a muscle, um, a single muscle, and each of those fibers is poured into a fascia pocket. So it's this tissue that is surrounding and literally penetrating all through a muscle. So now extrapolate. You want your muscles to be strong and you want them to be flexible. At Bendable Body, we define both of those things as you want them to work. You want them to make all the movements they're designed to make so that you don't end up with joint pain, which is what everybody ends up with because their muscles don't work anymore. It's the fascia and the health of the fascia that is determining that. Over time, the thing that atrophies in the body, that ages in the body, that gets hard, dense, inflexible, dehydrated is fascia. A real simple way to think of it is the hardest skin on the body as we get older versus a baby's foot. Oh my goodness, we're constantly have little baby's feet in our hands, is the skin on the back of your heel, right? It gets like hard as a rock over time. Babies don't have that. That's what happens internally to our fascia. And the only way to deal with it is to literally internally exfoliate it, just like you would on the back of your heel. So if you think of it up close, like what is it up close in the body? It's really a combination of collagen and seawater, and it looks like a three-dimensional web. And so it should be like moving and sliding, but instead it gets matted and dense and hard. And the thing that causes that is trauma. It could be physical, it could be emotional, or it could be a repetitive movement, which is certainly a trauma, or not moving, which is certainly a trauma. All of these things harden your fascia. And universally in the body, it tends to be hard and dense in everybody in certain places, really the back of the body. John's going to go more into that. But of course, it can be on the front if you have a specific trauma. So that's kind of like an overview of fascia and how important it is to your muscle strength and flexibility. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand everything over to John. We're going to have a little bit of a mic switch. It's going to just take 30 seconds. And he's going to tell you more about fascia, and then we're going to start stretching. Okay, so let's do that.
All right. All right. So you've all stretched with us. You got the videos. You've been stretching. We're going to go over the four pillars of a stretch. And it's going to be in relation to flexibility. It's going to be in relation to strength. And it's going to be into relationship with posture, alignment. And because a lot of people, and I did this too, I don't know if you guys did this, but there was strength training, there was cardio, and for alignment there was like chiropractic, or there's like the Alexander technique. So it's like you have to do different things to address your strength, different things to address your cardio, and different things to address your alignment. So when you address the fascia, this is the root cause of our bodies. Like Sita said, our bodies are the shape of our body is the health of our fascia. So I want everyone just kind of to stand up a little bit. And what we're going to do is going to put our arms up about shoulder height and then let the arms move back. Okay. And then at the point where they move back, you feel a little tightness on the front here, right? You can feel a little bit of tightness. Okay, cool. So that's a little check in. We're going to check in. We're going to do some stretches. We're going to check in again. So now we're going to do a stretch for our shoulder on the left side. It's in one of the videos. It's a shoulder stretch. It's the large intestine stretch. It's associated with the health of our large intestine. So let's put our left arm up about shoulder height. We're going to take our right hand and grab our left elbow. They're resisting each other. The elbow is going that way, and the arm's going to pull this way, but they're engaged. You're resisting. That's pillar one, the start, and the resistance is pillar two. Keep resisting as you pull across. Let it go and come back to the start. So pillar one's the position, start. Pillar two's the resistance, resist, resist, resist. Pillar three, keep that resistance while you stretch and let it go. Okay, so we're resisting and lengthening the muscle, but the fascia is engaging here. The fascia engages, and we're changing the fascia with every move that we use with resistance and continuous movement. Let it go. Breathing in and out through your nose is a great way to start your uh, exercise, or always breathe in and out through your nose. Let it go. But in terms of cadence with your breathing, that's up to you. You can create a cadence and stretch along with it or exercise along with it. Let it go. We're going to do about 4 or 5 more. We want to do a set of about a dozen. Let it go. So this is the outside and back of our shoulders, right? We're not stretching our chest. We're stretching the outside, back of our shoulders. Let it go. Resist, 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 and relax on the way back. Keep the arm about shoulder height all the way through, and only go as far in range as you can continue to resist. We don't want these stretches to go into our joints. For instance, this stretch going into our shoulder. Okay. Oh, check it out. Now, just see what you notice before we check in again. The shoulder feels a little lower, more relaxed, more space on that side of the neck. This side's a little tight, doesn't turn as much. But now let's check in again and let those arms go back. And the side we stretched either has more range going back or less tension in the front. Can you feel that? You can type it in the chat. Okay. So problem number one, if we have a pain point, right? Something hurts us, and that this didn't really hurt us, but it was sensation. Everyone thinks they have to massage or work on that muscle group. That's the symptom. And what we're saying now in this little demonstration, we're doing two things. We're telling you that the cause, the root cause, not only is it the fascia, but it's the other side of the body or the other side of the arm or the other side of the leg. And it's always the muscle that won't shorten that produces the injury, right? So if we go to move our arm, reach up in the cabinet and grab something, or bend down, uh, reaching up, these shoulder muscles have to contract and shorten to go up. right? And as we get older and this doesn't happen so well, the body starts to compensate. The arm doesn't straighten as much, okay? And so that's the large intestine stretch we did for our shoulder that changed that. So let's do the other side just to balance this out. So we're going to start with the right arm about shoulder height. We're going to grab our elbow. We're going to resist. Keep resisting as you pull your arm across and then relax and let it go. So we're not doing a big range. You don't see me pulling here like traditional stretching. It's all about the fascia and it's all about the resistive force. We want to change the fascia because when we change the fascia, we change the muscles, we change the rotation of the bones, we change the alignment. Let it go. Resist, resist, resist. And you can relax the wrist and hand of the arm you're stretching. We're resisting as we pull towards center. We relax on the way back. And a couple other cues we like to give is just kind of relax your knees so your pelvis relaxes. It doesn't pitch forward. And we want those ribs to stay in your body, right? And you just want a nice aligned torso only while we're stretching to get increased resistive force. Resist, 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 and relax on the way back. Resist, resist, and let it go. So this stretch is great for shoulder joint movement and pain. It also helps with neck pain. And the large intestine in all of us, that organ regulates blood pressure. So if your blood pressure is too high or too low, this muscle group stretches like this. Couple more. Let's do it, do it, do it. Let it go. So feel a little bit of a burn there. Okay, shake it out. Wow. First thing I noticed, see what you noticed. Did your chest open up? Right? The arms went back a little bit and the chest opened up, and we didn't stretch the chest. We stretched the shoulders and the back of the shoulder. So that's something you want to be aware of because when we get older, and Sita mentioned this, the fascia shapes us. Do we start doing this when we get older? Or do you see everyone walking around as they get older like, oh my God, it's terrible getting older. It's just terrible. No, it's obvious that we start doing this because the back of the body, and this is the way the muscles are designed in our bodies, the tissue's denser and it becomes more and more dense. So now it doesn't shorten. The front, we got problems on the front too, but that tissue's tense. Dense versus tense. So you see, we stretched our shoulders in the outside and they went back. You stretch any muscle and you're going to go back to a better alignment, but you want to change the dense tissue. So now, how does bendable body strengthen you? And we're going to do two, one for the legs and then one for the arms. We're going to do a little check-in, okay? How does it strengthen you? So let's do a little mini lunge, all right? And I'm going to put my left foot forward just a little bit. I'm not going to go way out here, right? I'm just going to take a little step forward, let my body come forward, and let my leg push back, or whatever that is for you, right? Push your body back. You can do both sides. Just see how it feels, right? Then you check in on your right side, and then see how that feels. Okay. Balance-wise, strength-wise, is your body moving you back? So now let's stay standing and stretch the back of our left leg. We're going to stretch the central hamstring. We have 3 hamstrings. Some of the densest tissue in our body are the 3 hamstrings, particularly the lateral. But we're going to do the central right now. So have something nearby for balance. Take a little step forward with your left foot. Both knees want to bend, okay? Your front foot doesn't have to flex. It's nice if it does, but don't worry about it. Now, the resistive force, pull the heel back. Pull that front heel back that you can feel the back of your leg engage. Keep that resistive force. Keep pulling back, keep pulling back, keep pulling back as you fold forward and let it go. Okay, come back up to the start. Pull your heel back, pull your heel back, pull your heel back, and let it go. And so this is about the resistive force. So you pull your heel back. You can feel your heel pulling into the yoga mat, down into the floor. and you stay with that, stay with that, stay with that, then let it go. Okay? Because for some of us, the resistance is kind of tricky. It's like we initiate and then we kind of make the movement. We initiate and then we kind of make, but we don't stay with that resistive force. Stay with the resistive force, stay with the resistive force, then let it go. Because the connective tissue engages and we want to keep it engaged while it lengthens. That's the magic of the movement. Stay with it. Keep your head up as you fold forward. You can resist, right? At the start, you can tuck your tailbone for more resistive force. It will flex as you fold forward. But you want to generate, again, stretching is about finding the path of greatest resistance. Conversely, strength training would be finding the path of least resistance. That's not how they think about it, though. But so resist, resist, resist. Let's do a couple more. Let it go. Resist, pull your heel back, pull your heel back, pull your heel back, and relax. All right, that was a good set. That was the brain meridian. Central hamstring is the brain muscle group. Okay, now as you're standing there, you can just kind of check it out. First thing, my attention goes to my feet. That foot's softer. Can you feel that foot's a little softer on the ground? Sita was talking about the baby feet and how our feet get harder as we. All right, so that feels cool. This is a little bit open here. This shoulder went back a little bit. But now let's check in with our little mini lunge. Okay, let that. Oof. Go step forward with that. It's easier. Can you feel that it's easier to do and that the leg is a little stronger? Like now the leg pushes you back. Right? Now the leg pushes you back. Do the other leg, the right leg. The leg does it, it's still the same as it was, and it's even more of a difference between the two legs. It's like your body is pulling you back, right? Can you feel that? It's like your body's pulling you back. And the leg we just showed, we only did one set. It contracts and pushes you back. Strength. You get stronger on your feet, okay? Now, let's go into the chest. We're going to go down on the mat. And we're going to do like a push up off our knees. We're going to use our hands to push down. You don't have to go down very far. I'll show you what we're doing here. So this is going to determine some chest strength, right? We're going to do a check-in. Your arms are about shoulder width. If you can't get down on your knees, you can go on the back of a couch, right, and do it on your feet if you want to do that. If you can get your knees a little bit further back of your hips, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. Now just do like a little regular push-up and then come up. You don't have to go down very far. And just check in. You might feel it in your hands, your elbows. You might feel it in your shoulders, maybe a little crunchies or just maybe a little bit of stress. Okay, that's a check-in. All right, all right, all right. Now, we're going to do another shoulder stretch. We call this kneeling twist. And we'll do our right arm. So we want to be on our right knee and our left foot forward. Right knee, left foot forward. And again, if you're not able to get on your knees, go back and do this stretch that we did at the start of our stretching. Okay, but what we're going to do in the kneeling twist is take our right elbow, put it on or to the outside of our left knee, grab the back of our wrist, our arm's going to be facing forward. Now we're in the star position. Now we're going to resist. The arm we're stretching is going to go clockwise, and we're going to pull the arm against resistance counterclockwise. Let it go and bring it on back. So resist, 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 and relax on the way back. Now, if your arm's on the outside of your knee, they can be pressing against each other also. Breathing in and out through your nose. Now, what we didn't mention about the fascia and these organ associations is that the muscles and the organs are separate, obviously, right? They're separate. They're different. But they're connected. And this muscle group we're stretching right now, right here, right, deltoid down the arm, it goes right down into the index finger, is a large intestine meridian. A meridian is an electrical current that runs through our bodies. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's do like 4 or 5 more. Stay with it. Stay with it. Let it go on the way back. Resist, 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 and relax on the way back. Okay, all right. Check it out. Shoulder dropped. More relaxed on that side. The arms kind of more independent. Let's check in with our push up. Let's see what happened to that right shoulder. So let's go back into our push up and then let's go down. And that's different. Can you feel that? Actually, you don't feel it. The arm we just stretched, isn't it like, doesn't it have space? And doesn't it feel effortless on that side? And the side we didn't stretch still has a little bit of strain? Okay. Now, the women out there will get it like that's strength, that's stronger. The guys, we have a harder time with that, right? We think strength is something like effort. And strength actually is effortless. All right. So we just created space in our shoulder joint. It's better aligned. Well, we did said earlier, but you can feel it's a little more externally rotated. The arms are supposed to kind of be externally rotated, and the legs are internally rotated. So if you're in better alignment, all the moves you make will produce less wear and tear on your joint. Okay? So now let's do the other side to balance us out. All right, we got to do the other leg too. But let's bring our right leg forward and be on the left knee. And we'll do large intestine. We'll do the shoulder stretch on this left shoulder. And remember, it's about the resistive force, right? So it doesn't have to be maximal. Okay? You get in the start position, you get ready to go, and you resist. So I'm going to resist about 20%, but I'm going to resist 20% the whole way, and then relax on the way back. Resist, resist, resist. Stay with the resistance. It wants to be continuous and consistent. What do the weightlifters do? What do they do to get strong? They go in the gym, and that first set is very lightweight. They might do 15 or 20 repetitions with very lightweight. And then they get off of their bench or they put their bar down and they add more weight. What can we do right here? Let's go 40%. Let's go 40%, a little more. We can change the resistive force anytime we want. And then we go back to light, we can go back to maximal. But whatever you choose to do, make it continuous. Probably up to about 60, 70% now. Stay with it. You can drop it off if it's too much. But it's like you want to grab that tissue. If you want to get anything out of our method of resistance stretching, and by the way, it's the only way your muscles will stretch without injuring themselves. All other forms of stretching create micro tears, and then that weakens muscles ultimately based on the immune response from the body. Let's do a couple more. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and let it go. Okay. Check it out. It's always good to check it out. Give yourself a little break, and then you see what happens. And maybe you start to notice the asymmetries in your body. So that chest opened up more. That arm turned out a little bit. We got a little more external rotation. Neck feels like there's more space back there. There is. Now let's check it out. Let's see what happened to that shoulder. Let's see how our push-up's doing. Easier again, stronger, right? Stronger. Now notice we're doing a push-up that requires our chest and biceps to contract and shorten to move us. We didn't do any stretches for the chest in order to get stronger in the chest. We did shoulder and back of shoulder stretches. Again, a basic problem-solving tool for you going forward. Whether you get involved in our membership or not, just stay with us. And you want these tools in your toolbox going forward. Okay. So now let's balance out that leg stretch we did, and we're going to do the right leg, central hamstring. So let's come on up. And the chest is more open. And we didn't do the chest, right? It's really nice. And this is cumulative. So when you resist and change the tissue and you do it for a few days, then you stop for a week or two and you go back, it doesn't go back. You don't start at ground zero again like you missed the gym for 6 months and you got to start over. You're building a foundation. So let's take a little step forward with that right foot. Bend both knees. Okay, pull your heel back, pull your heel back, pull your heel back as you fold forward and relax on the way down. So these electrical currents, right? The Chinese medicine, if you ever have had acupuncture, where they put needles in certain points to affect a certain organ. Like the gallbladder's on the outside of the leg, the stomach is on the quads, the kidney runs in the groin, lung goes in the chest, down in the thumb, the large. These electrical currents are housed in fascial tissue. So if the fascia is unhealthy, that electrical current, your energy is, we have less chi. We have less energy. Our organs function at suboptimal levels. I mean, think about it. You can do these stretches. There's 16 muscle groups, by the way. Let it go. Associated and connected to 16 organs. So right now we're improving the health of our brain. We do a challenge every month on the membership, but every so often we do a brain challenge. And there's 3 muscle groups that are integral to brain health. Of course, the brain itself. The appendix takes toxins out of the brain and the face. The appendix also hyperoxygenates the brain. Really, really important. And then this small intestine regulates cerebral spinal fluid in and out of the brain, up and down the spine. The sacral pump is really literal a pump. Let's do a couple more. Stay with it, relax on the way up. I mean, what's going on now is famous entertainer Billy Joel has brain problems because of the cerebral spinal fluid not leaving his brain and causing swelling. Well, those supraspinatus muscles in the back, they literally need to get stretched, and that he wouldn't have that problem. Okay, check it out. What do you notice? That foot is softer. So you can always get softer and softer feet by changing the dense tissue in your legs, even in the upper body. It helps too. Sita and I have been working on each other, doing some thymus stretches. And the first thing she noticed, it took me a day or so, was that her feet were softer by changing the tissue in the top back of her shoulders. So the fascia connects the whole body. Let's check in. That leg gets stronger again. Or for the first time, because now that leg is pushing us back. It's not like we need the body to bring us back. We have stronger legs. Okay, so you can take these exercises and get back to doing the things you would love to do: skiing, running, pickleball. We've had people who haven't ran in 10 or 15 years, people with severe shoulder problems who are back on the pickleball court. We have people who are spines are straighter from scoliosis. This is the connective tissue. This is what's bringing us down, and we can reverse the process with these stretches. So the electrical current for the brain runs down the central hamstring, right? That electrical current, just like the lights in your house, if you go into your kitchen and you go to the kitchen, the switch on the wall, and you turn that switch on, does your bathroom light come on or does your kitchen light come on? It's stupid, right? It's the kitchen light comes on. If you go into the basement, you turn the basement lights on, you hit that switch, does the kitchen come on or do you know what I'm saying? So when you're stretching your central hamstring, you're improving the health of your brain. Of course, the central hamstring, because it's connected, all right? They're not the same, but it's connected. Last night, ate too late, woke up around midnight, and I had a little bit of heartburn, right? I was like, oh, geez. I stretched my quads. What meridian runs through the quads? I was laying in bed. You didn't even have to get up. We'll do that stretch next. Stomach. I did uh, 3 sets on this leg and 2 sets on this leg. Gone. It was gone after 2 sets, but I wanted to do an extra set on this side. Mentally, I think the stomach's on the left side, so I do the left side. But do you know what I'm saying? Allergies. I used to have kind of severe chronic back pain, allergies, digestive issues, and occasional knee problems. That's why it stopped me from running further distances. I would run to lose weight, but I had weight problems. And so, if anybody has any questions at this point about the stretching, oh, I would love to answer them, or anybody has any comments. Um, Let me see. Hey, Aileen, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Let's see here. What do we got? Yeah, yeah. Sita's gonna sit down with you and finish up. Good stretching with you.
Back to answer questions.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be back to answer questions. Here we go.
Give us a moment. Okay, everyone. So, we talked about fascia. We did some stretching. Now I'm going to tell you about our membership program, and then John's going to answer any questions that you have. And we are 48 minutes in. Our goal is to keep the whole thing to 60 minutes. We'll probably go a little bit over with the Q&A, but let's see what we can get done here. So the first thing I want to do is actually take you to the membership page and show you it. So let me just share my screen here. 1 second. Bear with me. God, if anybody ever has had children, which I'm sure many of you have, you know that I am like really struggling here. Okay. Share. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So this is the membership. And I'm going to actually sign out so that you see it from, well, no, I don't need to be signed out. So what is the Bendables membership? It's an online program. We have over 350 on-demand videos that you can access from anywhere in the world so long as you have Wi-Fi. And that might sound super overwhelming, like, oh God, how am I going to do with 350 videos? Well, it's actually not overwhelming at all. And it's broken down into really simple categories so that you can very easily target the thing that you want to target. However, and I don't know that we made this abundantly clear, we should have, and we want to, when it comes to fascia, you really do need to deal with the body holistically. So I understand that there's a diversity of symptoms out there. You know, some people have knee pain, some people have hip pain, some people have plantar fasciitis, some people have sciatic nerve, some people have back pain. We get it. But as John was saying, the dense tissue, the dense fascia in the body tends to show up on the back, and then it manifests as a different symptom in different people. But you still have to address that densest tissue. So there are going to be muscle groups that no matter what your symptom is, we're going to strongly encourage you to go after. And this program does that. So let's just like kind of have a bird's eye view of what's in here, what the cost is, what you get. So I'll start with the categories. That's a pretty obvious place. Tutorials, you know, obviously we have a handful of tutorials that go over the method, talk about props, talk about form, talk about important concepts like your hamstrings, strengthening versus stretching, the organ and meridian association, which is pretty amazing. That's the tutorial section. They're short, you know, just meant to kind of get you what you need. Single stretches. We have many individual stretches in the membership. And what you'll notice is the first word of every stretch is the organ association. So as John started to talk about, our stretches target fascia. Meridian channels, according to Chinese medicine, which are the electrical currents that service your physiology and your organs, reside in fascia. So we really think of the body as set up in muscle fascia zones, and there are 16 of them. And they're each associated with a meridian and an organ. So, for example, gallbladder is the IT band. Everybody knows the IT band. Everybody loves to foam roll their IT band. The gallbladder meridian runs right along the IT band. So we're always going to, prompt you or remind you of the organ that you're affecting as well as the area of the body, right? So you've got the outside of the legs, the IT band, the gallbladder. And so we have many, many stretches, not many, many, but I would say 3 to 8 single stretches for each of the 16 major muscle groups in the body that are referred to by an organ, an area, and then a specific muscle group or handful of muscles. So that's the single stretches page. Stretch flows, really popular page. So most of the videos on the site are going to be in the 15 to 20-minute range, right? And so in a perfect world, you stretch for 15 to 20 minutes a day. We would love to see that. We know that that's the most digestible for people, and it also really gets the job done. We do have shorter videos and we do have longer videos, but the bulk are in that 15 to 20 minute range. And so the stretch flows page is really a page, we call them flows instead of routines, that targets really common things like hips, elbow, wrists, full body, a lot of full body stretches. Those are usually going to be a little bit longer because we're covering more muscle groups. Hamstrings. We are the hamstring police. We want you to change your hamstrings. Lower body, upper body, calf and shin. Some interesting things like a facelift flow, a TMJ flow. So this is really a page that has a compilation of really common areas that people want to stretch and then some oddball areas as well. Common ailments, similar page. Standing and seated only. So if there's anybody in the audience right now that is in a place where they can only stand or sit in a chair to stretch, there's a whole section on the membership dedicated to you. Bulk of the videos are going to be a combination of on the floor and standing, but we do have a whole section for just standing and seated. This is a pretty important page, the search index. So there are over 150 searchable terms on the site. And they start with the area of the body. So you're like, you know what? I need to go after my calves. I need to go after my elbows. Injuries, very specific injuries like a herniated disc, carpal tunnel, bunion, Tommy John. I mean, you can see we have a pretty big list there. Then it gets into emotional concerns and organ concerns, and that's because of the physiological overlap with stretching your fascia. So you can target forgiveness, you can target your heart meridian. And then we get into specific physiological ailments like osteoporosis, circulation, sleep, sinuses. You can see it's a pretty long list. So you grab any one of these terms, you just copy it. I'm going to go with headaches because I sometimes get headaches. You go to the all videos category. This is every video on the site. I mean, you could search it on any page, but this is the one that makes sense. Hopefully you can see. I put it in the search bar. Oops. And all the videos associated with headaches are going to pop up for me to focus on. So that's a great feature. Another really great feature on the site is comments. So under every single video, there's a place where you can put a comment, and it might sound a little removed, but it's not. John and I check these every single day. We are the co-founders. We're the ones with all the experience. Nobody else works at the company. Every single time that you send an email or ask a question, it's one of us that is answering, whether it's technical or to do with stretching. We check these every single day. So our primary business is this membership, and we are stretching alongside you, answering your questions, and working with you on a daily basis if that's what it takes to get you going. And we also want to see you succeed, obviously, right? And we know that this is a different method and it's new to a lot of people. So, like, if you're really struggling, we're going to get on a Zoom call with you. We're going to get on a phone call. Like, let's figure it out, because typically the problems that people have, if they're not getting results, we can solve pretty fast. It's usually a misunderstanding about the technique, usually you're not resisting. That's usually what it is. You're kind of reverting back to traditional stretching in some way, shape, or form because that's what we've been doing our whole life. So my point is that we are available and present to rectify this with you. You are not like in a sea of videos on your own. So that's the comments area under any video. And we mainly just encourage you to use that over email because emails can get lost. I get a lot of them, but the comments area, those don't get lost. Super year programs. This is a great program, and we created this 1 year into the membership. So we had the membership going. 1 year later, we were getting feedback from people like, I need direction. Some people love to just do their own thing. They go to the stretch flows page, they go to one of the other categories, they just do the video that they're kind of interested in on that day. Maybe they base it on the amount of time they want to spend. Other people want that direction. So that's what the Super Year program is. It's 52 weeks of curated instruction, right? So every single week, you're going to get an email from us. Regardless of whether or not you're actually doing the Super Year program, you'll still get that email. You can ignore it, you can pay attention to it, and it's going to be like, hey, you're on the hamstring module, week, 7. This is what you're doing this week. And then you pop in there and you've got options for the whole week that are focused, right? And so the big question that always comes up is, okay, well, that's great, but is the Super Year program going to fix my knees? I need to focus on knees. The resounding answer is yes. So this program covers all areas of the body that the pain tends to show up. But more importantly, it does that thing that I was mentioning earlier, which is it focuses on the universally tough tissue in everybody that's really at the root of whatever your symptom is. So it's going to target the specific symptom and also deal with the body holistically. So it's a fabulous overhaul if you want to spend the year doing it or if you want to spend a month doing it. Another question or comment that we get regularly is people go into freak out mode. They're like, oh no, I missed, the hamstring module or the wrist and ankles module. What do I do? Do I go back? What do I do? You don't go back. You pick up where the email has you. It repeats, right? So the program repeats throughout the year. It's okay if you miss something. You just start where we have you in that, yearly process. Okay, pricing. Let's talk about, did I miss anything major? Live events. Oh my goodness. Like the most important thing. So we have weekly 2 live classes. They're on Zoom. They're with John. One is Monday nights at 7 p.m. and one is Saturdays at 11 a.m. The Monday night class is 20 to 30 minutes long and it's very targeted on one muscle group. We call it going after. You get the recording. We call it going after because you're like going after one thing. So he went after pericardium on 5-5. He went after heart on 5-12. And so that's 20 to 30 minutes of targeted stretching plus Q&A with John on Monday nights. The recordings get saved to the membership if you can't come live. And then on Saturdays, we have a 45-minute class with John. These are more full body and plus Q&A. The recordings get saved if you can't come live. Plus, so that's every week, right? That comes with your membership. It's a bonus live class thing. Some people love them. They like the accountability. They like the Q&A. They like the community. Other people don't. They just watch the recording or they do their own thing. It's really up to you. We also have special live events. So we'll do challenges. Every month we have a 5-day challenge or a 3-day challenge or a 4-day challenge. It's 5 to 3 days in a row with John live on Zoom. Sometimes they're at 11 a.m., sometimes we do them at 6 p.m. And the point is to challenge you to really get some stretching done over the course of a week. So those happen on a monthly basis. We also have incredible guest speakers periodically. Recently, we had someone who talked about EMF exposure. It was super cool. Before that, we had an incredible doctor of homeopathy. She's a naturopath. She's got a huge amount of experience behind her. In a couple months, we're having an astrologer on. Someone gave us a gift for the twins of an astrology reading when they were born, and she was great. So we're going to have her on, and she actually does a lot of Bach flower remedy. So that's an interesting way to learn about that. And then, of course, all these recordings get saved so you can revisit them. We also have periodic workshops where we go into the deeper concepts of the bendable body method. Like here's a balancing pairs workshop, a meridian workshop. So we have these periodic special events that just come with your membership. So payment and plans. We really have two payment plans. You get everything with both. All content comes with both payment plans. It's really just what works for you in terms of payment. So I'm going to just sign out so that I can easily show you that. Um, the monthly and the yearly, right? So the monthly, it's 45 bucks a month. It's auto renew. You get charged every month unless you cancel. As soon as you cancel, you stop paying and you lose access at the end of that month period that you've already paid for. You can easily do that inside the membership under your dashboard. You can cancel your subscription at any time. It's super simple. And then we have the yearly subscription, which is 450 for the year for 12 months. So you save $90 when you pay upfront for 12 months. You save $90, you basically get 2 months free. We also have a money back guaranteed. However, it only applies to the monthly. So if you want to try the membership out for 30 days and you don't want to be locked into spending any money, sign up for the monthly, pay $45, send me an email within 30 days and be like, I don't want to do this. Can I have my money back? I will give it to you. $45, not $450. So that's a great way to try it. And yes, you can upgrade. You can always change to the yearly. It's easily done inside the dashboard. So those are the payment plans. Like I said, you get everything with both payments. That's what's inside the membership. Bonuses. Oh my God, we have some super cool bonuses for you guys. I was mentioning this at the beginning of the webinar. Hold on, let me just go to the chat. That's where I can grab. Actually, no, I can just do it right here. 1 second. I'll show you the bonus page. For this June enrollment, we have some really cool bonuses. 1 second. Hold on. Actually, I'm not going to be able to get there easily, so I'll just explain them. So, what are the bonuses? We have, let me go back to the membership so we're not looking at anything weird. A shoulder series. It's a video, it's a 30-minute video. You get to own, you can download it, it's yours for life. It's targets the shoulders. So, whether the pain's acute, chronic, a specific injury, you're going to be able to do the stretches right away, get immediate relief, and over time, it'll get rid of the problem. This is a bonus that comes free with your membership. It's a video you own. You also get an ebook of the stretches that are in that video to accompany it. We're also giving you a hip focused bonus, which apparently was the more popular bonus, hips. It's I think the video is like 25 minutes and it targets the medial hamstring, the pancreas meridian, which is the most impactful for the hips. And then we've also got a couple extra surprise bonuses in there. One has to do with the meridian channels. It's an ebook. And the other has to do with running so that you can keep running no matter your age, no matter your condition to get your heart rate up. And that's a video tutorial. So you get all of those bonuses when you join during this June enrollment today. Okay. So you gotta take an action now. And I already put the link to join in the chat, but here it is again. There's the link to join the membership. And you're also going to get an email for the rest of this week and within the hour with that link and reminding you about the bonuses. This special June enrollment is closed on Monday, June 16th. So that's when this training, the special enrollment is over. Have you been to the all access page? We've been emailing you guys that if you signed up for the webinar. It's got a bunch of on-demand videos that you can have access to through Monday, plus the recording of this webinar will be up there. So that's a really important place to visit before Monday. You can try out stretching. You can communicate with us and ask questions. So that's everything about the membership. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Why isn't it not stop share? There we go. And come over here. And I'm going to bring John in so that he can answer any stretching questions that those of you have that are left. And we really appreciate you being here. We hope that you learned something. We hope that you join us inside the membership. We have an incredible community. We have a members only Facebook group. I didn't mention that, but it's a great opportunity to meet people and stretch alongside others and learn from us. We have a lot of experience and start feeling good, start doing something about your fascia. So here's John. He's going to take questions, and it was really nice to work with you guys this morning. Here, I'm going to give him the microphone.
Okay, so if there's some questions, great. Otherwise, we will finish up with the stomach stretch, a quad stretch. I mentioned the back pain, the allergies, the digestion. Back pain mainly is hamstring stretches if you're experiencing back pain. Uh, Allergies, asthma. I didn't have asthma, but allergies pretty severe. You stretch your quads. Um, yeah, those want to happen. Digestive issues, that's of course large intestine, but in these 16 muscle groups, there's balancing pairs. And a big deal if there's a symptom, brain is balanced by sexual. So in Chinese medicine, if you're more familiar with that, that would be conception vessel and governing vessel. Um, I trained with Bob Cooley, who wrote The Genius of Flexibility, and he identified that the conception vessel and the governing vessel are not just in the torso, front and back. They bifurcate and go down the front and back of the legs. So the sexual meridian, the hip flexors, regulates the health of your hormones. You start stretching your hip flexors, your hormones start to fire and in all aspects. So did you still come to DC? We do, Donna, but the place that we used to stretch in Tenleytown, um, they're not doing that anymore. So we went up to Echo Park, Glen Echo, I think. Not a big turnout. It's like asking people in Manhattan to go over to Brooklyn on a Saturday morning. It's just not going to happen. Um, we would love to, but I still go down there to do private sessions with people we've worked with for got over a dozen years now. But yeah, we still go down. If you have a place in DC that has a nice space that we could do a class, we would love to.
Hey, John, scroll up. Do you see Joan's question about
Yep,
hamstrings?
yep.
Okay.
Hey, thank you. Joan, I have hamstring tendinopathy and stretching or squeezing hard makes me have pain for 4 days in a row. So I am always afraid of doing stretching for that. But the shoulder exercises were very good. Awesome. Okay. So how do we problem solve this? I just was mentioning for the large intestine, I did a lot of lung stretches. And that I wasn't conscious of it, but looking back, the balancing muscle for me really helped the bowel movement. So lung helps large intestine, just like sexual helps brain, gallbladder and liver. That's the wood element, and large intestine and lung are a metal element. So the back of your legs are a problem. You have hamstring tendinopathy. I imagine it's up high near the pelvis. You can let me know or not. But was it an injury or just did it just show up? You would start resistance stretching the front of your body, okay? Um, you can do the quads. We're going to do the quads now. That's front, outside, sexual, right in the front, the hip flexors, and then kidneys here in the groin. So you would stretch these to give some relief back here. But in the courses we teach, okay, we do teach a judicious use of strength. So you could strengthen after a hip fracture. Okay, so if we were just going to do it with the stretching that we do, we would do a very, very small range of motion. Resist and do a very, very small range of motion. I probably wouldn't have you do the stand, well, maybe the standing. Um, but for the strength part, it would really be helpful to just do a few strength moves and then a short resistance stretch. A few strength moves and then a short resistance stretch, and I'll show you just in a minute. Okay, let's go down onto the mat and we'll do these stomach stretches lying in bed when I had indigestion. Um, I'm checking my, I don't know.
It's working now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, what would be opposite sciatic with the inner joint pain? So sciatica, Jane, that nerve, that sciatic nerve, comes down and then it comes around the butt. You can feel it because it's like something strangulating your thigh and your butt. Right here, the psoas major, which is in front of the spine, is tight. So the sexual meridian is pressing on that nerve and it's lighting it all up and it goes right around. So you would do the hip flexor, which we'll do right now. We're going to do the stomach. But you need to do the balancing muscle. So you need to do central hamstring and hip flexor, back and forth, and that'll help with sciatic nerve pain. But let's lie on the ground. And, like I said, I did this in bed. So this first stretch is going to be for our quads, right? So let's lift up our left leg. You leave a little bend in your leg, relax your ankle and foot, and we're going to interlock our hands in the middle of our thigh, not up high by the knee, but we want to go right in the meat of the hamstring here. Okay, now we're stretching this quad. So let's take our right leg, our helper leg, and put it in front of our left ankle. Okay, the left leg is going to go up toward the ceiling, and then the right leg is going to push it down. Let your knee bend. Let the knee bend. Resist, resist, resist. Relax on the way up. Okay? So you're resisting in the start position with your legs as comfortably straight as they can be. And then you push down, resist, 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 and then let it go. Don't go too far past 90 degrees, or don't even go to 90 degrees if it hurts, it goes into your knee. Resist, 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 and relax on the way up. You could probably already feel your quad burning. Okay? Now, just to educate you, we're lengthening and resisting stretching the front of the thigh. So the back of the thigh has to shorten. And at the point where any of you may feel it go into your knee, that is telling you that the hamstring stopped shortening. Okay? This is just something so you remember, like for to problem solve, symptoms, pain, or tightness going forward. Resist, 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 resist. Relax on the way up. So I did 20 on this leg. I did about 10 on the other. And I did 20 and 20, and I finished up with 10 on this leg. And it's burning, burning, burning. Let's just do a couple more. Okay. Okay. Now, you put your feet down, and then you let your legs move a little to the left together and to the right. Can you feel your hip joint on the leg we just stretched? There's more movement in the hip joint. And the other side, not as much articulation. So the quad, which is stomach, and Sita mentioned earlier in our hip joint video that we're giving you if you sign up, that's the medial hamstring, the pancreas. They're a balancing pair. That's the earth element, stomach and pancreas. So you go back and forth, stomach and pancreas, your hip joint's going to start feeling great. Okay? So that's a quad stretch. All right? Now, for sciatica, because Joan brought it up, the hip flexor, it's in the front of the leg like the quad is, but it's right in the center. Okay? So we're going to stretch the left hip flexor. So put the right leg up in the air. Hold the back of your right leg with your right hand. And that leg's going to be pushing away, but you're going to hold it, right? The target leg, we're going to bring that left knee into our body. Okay, here's our start position. We're going to place our left hand on the front of our left thigh. Push it away, push it away, push it away, and then relax on the way in. So this one is not getting the quad. It's getting the hip flexor, the psoas major. But make sure the right leg, you're pushing it away into your right hand. The more you push the right leg away, the more force we have on the hip flexion. Bring that leg as close into your body as you can. Breathing in and out through your nose. Resist, resist, let it go. Resist, push it out, and relax on the way in. you could gently flex the foot of the helper leg. And, it's nice to relax the ankle and foot of the leg you're stretching. Just do a couple more. Okay. So I feel a lot of tension, relief up in the abdomen. Actually feel a little space in the knee on that side. So it takes tension out. So that's for the hip flexor. And if you do that stretch, that's going to help with sciatic nerve pain. Now, one more stretch, and it's for the central hamstring. We did one earlier, standing. But what you would do, and for Joe, for the tendinopathy, because the stretching that you do hurts. First of all, I would resist. I would do much less range, very, very little range. But to strengthen, interlock your hands behind your knee, gently flex your foot. You want to keep your knee a little bent, right? Drive your leg into your hands and let the leg move away, and then relax on the way back, right? So when you resist and you go away, your hamstrings shortening. So that's a strength move, right? Right, just do 2 or 3. And then push the leg away, keep pushing the leg away, keep resisting, and just pull in a little bit, and then let it go. Resist, 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 and then let it go. Very little range, because the strength movement will help you get a slightly better, or a more increased resistive force. When you're on your back and you're doing your hamstrings, it's nice to create a little arch in your low back. Now, you won't physically create space, but if you just kind of like let your glutes go down to the ground, and you can try it both ways. Let your back be flat and pull in, right? And now arch your low back and pull in. Can you feel the increase in force when you arch your back a little bit? Again, you don't have to create space and arch way up, just enough to feel like you attempted to arch your low back. And that gives you more resistive force and less substitution into your glutes and your lower back. All right, so remember this quad stretch, the stomach. If you have allergies or asthma, we have other versions of it too, but this is nice because you can do it, before you get up in the morning or when you go to bed at night. The hip flexor stretch, right? You're still lying on your back. And this is good for sciatic nerve, it's good for health pain, it's good for the hormones in your body. And then the central hamstring stretch. You interlock your hands behind, drive the leg away, you can arch your back a little bit and pull in. Arch your back a little bit and pull in. Because in the membership we have series, a sitting series, a standing series for people who can't get down on the mat. And then there's a whole bunch of stretches lying on your back. But you do want to resist. You do want to address the fascia. You want to feel that force. And over time, you'll just continue to get stronger and stronger. One thing about the organs, and then we'll wrap it up. Autoimmune, anything in your body like bacterial loads, viral loads, inflammation, and that's kind of bothering you, and you have low energy, you're always fatigued, or whatever the case may be. So these are the inflammatory markers in your body. And here's your immune system. Okay? Everyone's thinking, and I thought this always too, reduce the inflammation. Oh, stop eating the skins on tomatoes. Oh, stop eating sugar. Oh, take this supplement. Oh, take this. And like lower the load. No. Raise the body. Strengthen the immune system. Strengthen your lungs. Strengthen the sexual organs. Get those hormones firing. Gallbladder, liver, pancreas, heart, small. Bring that up. It's like when you get you're driving, and now we can have the dashboard on our car tell us, oh, one tire, we're down 20%. Do you lower the other 3 tires 20% lower just to cater to the tire that doesn't have enough air? that's how we think about health. It's like, let's just make our lives smaller and smaller and smaller. Oh, we can't run. Let's ride a bike. Oh, we can't ride a bike. Let's do some chair yoga. I mean, everything's going in the wrong direction. And it really does. You really want to go get faster and stronger. And these are the only movements that will do it without injuring you. Anyway, all the members that we have very inspiring stories. Um, Literally, people's spines are straightening out as per their doctor, bone density is increasing. And these are people in their 60s, 70s. We have some 80-year-olds in there, and we're doing it. And we'd love to have you. Hey, Ellen, can't have leg hanging there due to bad knee. Can rest. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have multiple. We must have 8 versions of lateral hamstring, central hamstring, and medial hamstring because the hamstrings are the toughest tissue, and they make a big, big impact. And especially these muscles up here, your immune system's up here, your external, internal, and then of course the small intestine, skin, small intestine, and thymus are 3 really important muscle groups in the back of the upper body. If you have hamstring, back, shoulder problems, we take videos that cover all the body, or take each video or all. So we have a single stretch page where you can do one stretch at a time, learn it, and we have variations of so we have 16 muscle groups. So we say have over 100 different stretches to do for your body, covering all the bodies, sitting in a chair, but you can modify them, because we get this in the membership. People have been stretching with this for a while, and they're like, gee, my shoulder hurts when I do this, and we get a set of eyes on like we want to see you stretch so we can help you out. And invariably, we ask them to resist more and do less range. I'll give you an example. We had a class on Wednesday nights in the city years ago. We'd have half a dozen people show up, and once in a while, a person would show up and say, "Oh, I don't know if I should be here. My knee really hurts." Yeah, and they get down on the one knee and they would start stretching the leg with the bad leg. And right away, like, oh, I knew it. The knees hurt. I got to go. And I'm like, hold on, resist, kick your heel back. And like, no, kick more. And then I get them to resist maximally, some 70-year-old person with a bad knee, and they move and they're fine. So it's counterintuitive because if you go to a PT and your shoulder really hurts, they barely move you, gentle, little tiny movements. But with this, you can resist maximally and do a tiny little movement. I'm talking about an inch. And you're going to get relief because if you can change the connective tissue, because we can change it with force alone. Could you do this exercise without the pillow? Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can absolutely do it without the pillow. Some people like to do it without the pillow. I forget that, Nicole. And we don't need the pillow for the leg exercise. No, nope. Sometimes my head's off the pillow and I don't even use it, but sometimes I rest because sometimes I feel my neck tensing, and everything has been going the wrong direction for years. I'm trying to lighten the load. And you're saying stretching is helpful for our immune systems, therefore will help us to heal from autoimmune. Yes. So the thymus, your internal immune system, the meridian runs along the top of the shoulders into the neck. We have a variety of stretches for that. I'll give you an example of, so white blood cells. We had a gentleman at the Boston studio some years ago that he did live blood cell analysis. You prick your finger, right? They put a little needle in, you get the blood, you put it on a slide, just like in biology class, and they put it on this device. It shows right up on the computer, and you're looking at your blood, somebody's blood. I had mine tested, but there were a few women there. We had a rheumatologist referring women to our studio. So they were on these kind of steroids, and they had all these, inflammation, a lot of pain. And so you see everything. You see the red blood cells, you see how they're spaced, how they're shaped, if they're coagulated, if they're independent. You see parasites, you see viruses, you see bacteria, you see white blood cells, and you see everything. The blood shows everything. It's right there. This person's white blood cell was sitting like floating in the plasma. And then the bacteria, they're going through like asteroids. And and the white blood cell is supposed to be moving to get these things, right? It's eating up the abhorrent red blood cells. They're in misshaped and so on and so forth. That person got stretched for about 15 minutes. A couple trainers, we stretched, and we went after thymus, lung, large, thymus, appendix, thymus. So we kept going back to thymus. She gets up, feels better. She goes, that feels good, my neck's looser. Pricked her finger, put the blood on, put it up. Her white blood cells were like little Pac-Man. Remember Pac-Man, the game Pac-Man, where that would eat up the invaders? That's what your white blood cells are supposed to do. They're supposed to be motile and, advance through and get, all of a sudden, white blood cells are firing. So what I'm saying is if you do thymus stretches, you're going to increase the health of your lymph nodes and white blood cells, your internal immune system. But the densest tissue in your body is the problem. And we're telling you generally it's the back of the body, right? Back, the shoulders, and in everybody. But if you have an injury and it's in your chest or in your hip flexors or there's scar tissue somewhere from some type of trauma, that wants to be addressed also. But the short answer is yes, Jane, that you can strengthen your immune system to the point where you don't have the symptoms like maybe that you've been experiencing. Some people it happens more quickly. Some people it takes a little longer. Anterior, hey, Yelena, pelvic tilt on the right and tight piriformis on the left. What needs to be stretched? What meridians are involved? Thank you, John. Okay. Pelvic tilt on the right. So I would start with lateral hamstring, bladder on the right. Of the three hamstrings, the lateral hamstring so all three hamstrings attach right on the bottom of the pelvis together, right in the center there. And then the lateral hamstring comes down and comes out to the outside of the leg, lower leg. And then the medial and central come down and attach to the inside. Okay? So if you have an anterior tilt, the back of the leg, the hamstring is pushing that up because the hamstring won't shorten. So you want to change the hamstring on that leg. Bladder and brain, I would start with. I would do pancreas too, all three. Lateral, medial, and central. And then for the piriformis relief in the back, on the other side, you can do, I would do hamstrings also, but you can do hip flexor, sexual. You can do adductor, which is liver. So this is how we're thinking about it. Your piriformis, what meridians run through there? Well, brain, bladder, and gallbladder, all three run up around through here. So you can stretch the IT band, the lateral hamstring, and the central hamstring. But it's nice to go after the balancing muscles for those muscle groups. So that would be sexual that we did, kidneys, the groin stretch, and then liver's the adductor. But the hamstrings have to change in order for the pelvis to start to shift. The sound just went out again. Okay, we apologize for this. Anterior pelvic tilt. So that's what I would recommend. Can hear you. Good. Okay. All right. Yelena, good question. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging with us. We'd love to see you get involved. It's a commitment. You'll get a much, much better body because you're imagining now, I just want to get rid of this. I just want to get rid of this. I just want to get rid of this. But in all instances, you want to get better and better and better and put those things in the rear view mirror and continue to get a better body. And that's what we can do with these exercises, these life-changing resistance stretches that we do. So thank you so much. I had a great time stretching with you. Look forward to seeing you in the membership. Thank you, everybody. Sita's going to come turn it off.